Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Korra news update video. And yep, this is going to be a big one. There's a lot of good news in this one. So this is definitely some of the news I've been waiting for. There's a lot of it, but it's mainly based on like one stuff, and I don't think there's really any way I can summarize it because it's whole character bios. So like, I'm pretty much just going to get straight into it and like talk about the bios and stuff like that. Anyway. Basically, the Korra Enhanced Experience came out today, July 2nd. It came out on iTunes, and it was actually a surprise to a lot of people that it's an iPad exclusive thing. So if you don't have an iPad, you are not going to get this thing. So that's one of the reasons I'm really kind of heavily focusing on just this one thing here, because not everyone has an iPad. I didn't, so I'm just summing up this information for everyone. Now, basically what it turned out to be is that it is an iBook. It's basically a thing you go into, and there's a certain amount of kind of pages of content. There's a lot about book one, there's a few animatics, behind the scenes sort of stuff on book one, but I'm mainly going to focus on the book two stuff here, which, as mentioned, we got concept art, character information, and some other stuff as well. So I'm just going to get right into what happened, starting with some of the character bios. So, first up is Tonrak, who is obviously Korra's father. Further confirmation that he's a waterbender, though we knew that from ages ago. His bio reads, Tonrak was a general in the Northern Water Tribe and next in line to be chief. As a warrior, he relied on physical strength to protect the tribe and was never very connected to the spiritual world. He is brash and hot-headed, not unlike Korra. Now living in the south, he's determined to live a simple life, but when fate intervenes, he's forced to lead his people into battle against his own brother. Next up is Unalak, who is Tonrak's younger brother, a waterbender as well, and obviously Korra's uncle as well. Tonrak's younger brother, he is an incredibly powerful waterbender, who also has a strong connection with the spirit world. Because of his deep spiritual connections, he has always believed that he was better suited to rule the North and the South than his older, brutish brother. He's a firm believer in the old ways of the Water Tribe, and a true fundamentalist when it comes to honouring the spirits. So there's the bios on the two brothers. Then we get the bios on Desna and Eska, who are obviously Tonrak's kids and Korra's cousins. Now, here's their bio. They're both waterbenders. Korra's cousins are 16-year-old twins who have a strange connection and seem to communicate without saying a word. They're both waterbenders, and when they work together, they can accomplish amazing feats, such as shooting entire icebergs at opponents. Korra has always found them incredibly annoying because they look down on her for being a rube from the south, even though she's the Avatar. Next up is Varric, who is confirmed to be a non-bender, but he's from the Southern Water Tribe. A billionaire shipping magnate from the Southern Water Tribe. He's a little eccentric, but very charismatic. He spends most of his time traveling the world on his monster yacht and living the fabulous lifestyle. Born a poor seal hunter's son, he's built his business from a single canoe into a global power. A consummate deal maker, he's always looking for angles to expand his business empire. He's currently making a deal with Asami to become Future Industries' shipping partner. There are rumors that he deals with underworld characters and gangsters if he thinks it will turn a profit, but that has not been verified. So, they're the 5 bios for the new characters that have been revealed. Along with that, we basically had further confirmation that the main spirit, who you can see here, basically that his name is the Dark Spirit. He's being called the Dark Spirit, so maybe we have a leader character there. Maybe that's the character who Grey Delisle voices. Not much is being confirmed, but they're definitely making a hint that this spirit, the one that looks like that, is the main one. Now, some other stuff we also got here was that we now know the name of K201, which is Book 2 Spirits Episode 1. The episode is going to be titled Rebel Spirits, and we have the title card, which you can see here. So very interesting, makes complete sense as the episode title, and given the like clips we've seen of Korra so far, makes complete sense also. So nice to have that name. Um, Next up, I suppose I'll just show you some of the concept art stuff that we haven't really seen before. A lot of it we've seen at SDCC last year, but here's some stuff going forward. Here's an interesting face from Tonrak, his war face. Very interesting, and it'll be interesting to see it if we have to see Tonrak fight next season. Here's an image of Unalak when he was younger. So this further confirms that we're getting flashbacks to the Water Tribes a few years before, because we knew that we were going to get flashbacks on Tonrak, Senna, but not Unalak, so confirmation now that we're going to get some history on the North and South conflict. Here's a kind of full character turn of Varric, I mean. Again, showing off his incredible sense of style and stuff like that. Finally, this is something someone spotted and it's created a lot of speculation, and it's just a little piece in the corner of one of the images that starts off the book 2 content. Now, it kind of looks like Unalak, it kind of looks like Yukon for me, so I'm not sure if it's just something they put in the background or it's actually there to hint at something. If it is Unalak, it kind of looks like, because he's behind the spirit, that he's maybe being possessed by the spirit. But for me, this looks very similar to a scene that Yukon is in The Legend of Korra. I think when Aang takes his bending away, so I'm not really sure if there's anything more to read into that or not, but anyway, that's pretty much it. And yeah, that's more or less the information we got. There's no like sneak peek clip at book 2 of Korra, no release date or anything like that. The animatic that was shown was the exact same one as before. And obviously I haven't shown every single image here because we've seen most of them at SDCC last year. But that's the end of the news, and I'm just going to get into some kind of discussion and speculation based on the bios that we've got. And for me, the most interesting ones definitely have to be the brothers, Tonrak and Unalak. Because these are the ones that really heavily hint at the plot. Tonrak was initially kind of next in line to be chief, but he obviously stepped down because he wanted a simple life. Maybe because he met Senna, who I think is from the southern tribe, and they obviously went down there to live a more simple life. He's not spiritual, which is maybe where Korra gets her not being very spiritual from. And that created conflict with her uncle being incredibly spiritual, and I believe we've had it confirmed that Unalak is going to be her avatar state teacher. So some interesting stuff here. And then the kind of line there, but when fate intervenes, he's forced to lead his people in battle against his own brother. So North versus South conflict coming back, and that leads into Unalak's bio, which says he's a firm believer in the old ways of the Water Tribe and a true fundamentalist when it comes to honouring the spirit. Old ways of the Water Tribe, that for me that points at women can't be warriors, women have to be healers, men should do the fighting, and a lot of those stuff like arranged marriages and stuff like that. So it's like Korra is not like that at all. So she would enjoy living in the south, but obviously not the north. So maybe there's a bit of a conflict between Korra and her uncle, and that's where like her father comes in. So anyway, it puts kind of Korra in between these two guys if they're going to be trying to influence her going forward. And it's a very interesting conflict being set up here. Definitely hints that Unalak could be the enemy of the book, because the spirit seems to be the villains. He seems to honor the spirit, so maybe he'll join up with them against his family, basically. But some very interesting stuff with these two brothers. Other story we got was further confirmation that Varric is going to play a role in Asami's story, and that obviously she's trying to build up future industries, and they need someone really high up to ship out the stuff. Sorry about the rain outside, it's absolutely lashing rain. So he's going to become Asami Future Industries shipping partner, which is going to be an interesting thing, because she thinks that's a very good deal, being new to the kind of business game. But the last line kind of hints at something bad happening, you know, like that he deals with underworld characters and gangsters, but it hasn't been verified yet. Really interesting, and especially to see how Bolin fits in, since we know he's a friend of Bolin. The Korra's cousins, more. This is more of a kind of less a story thing, more just character stuff. That it's interesting to see that Korra doesn't have a great relationship with her cousins. They think themselves kind of entitled, being from the north, and they think of her as basically, you know, a rube from the south, so like not very cultured and stuff like that. So that's an interesting one too, in that like it kind of hints at maybe these two not maybe being the most spiritual, but them having a strange connection, communicating without a word, should make for interesting characters when they're in scenes together. But yeah, a lot of water tribe stuff this season, and some very interesting stuff. There's not much else to really say, so I'll end it there. Definitely tell me what your thoughts are on this news. You know, this is definitely the most story stuff we've got since S2CC last year, and for me it was very exciting. So yeah, I'll just pretty much end it there. You know, check out the podcast on Sunday. We'll discuss this. Check the site. The links are in the description for, you know, the source of these news and stuff like this. So thanks for watching, and bye.